Don't be fooled by the two asses in the name, viewers. Assassin's Creed is half-assed at best. Oh boy, they stamped out a whole new one that's set in ancient Greece, so who gets to be Leonardo da Vinci this time? As in, the historical celebrity who inexplicably becomes BFFs with the main character within seconds of meeting them, and becomes the major support character to lend a sense of desperate authenticity reminiscent of celebrity cameos on more recent episodes of The Simpsons. Oh, we don't do that in every Ass Creed game, yards. It's Herodotus. Thank you. And in keeping with every Ass Creed game using the previous Ass Creed game as a prototype, like a slinky descending a filthy staircase acquiring more and more dust and mouse turds as it goes, Odyssey is basically Origins with a couple more bits added, which means the fucking leveling system is back again, and the sense of an open world is lost as quests and areas have recommended levels, ensuring that only one portion of the game is worth being in at any one time. It also continues the de-emphasization of stealth. Call me a boring old stick in the mud for expecting a game with the word assassin in the title to be about sneaking and precision, rather than hammering away at an overlong health bar like I'm driving a stake into a concrete floor. A stealth attack isn't a guaranteed kill on a higher level enemy, and it feels like enemies take forever to come out of alert mode if you run and hide, so any attempt at subtlety or cleverness on your part will very frequently give way to prolonged punch-ups with mobs of football hooligans. And I know precisely why this had to be the case, because if you weren't constantly forced into open combat, then you'd have no reason to keep upgrading and replacing your weapons and armor, and Ubisoft wouldn't be able to entice you with high-level gear, with bigger numbers winking brazenly at you from behind paywalls, grindathons, and the sequin-covered chastity belts of special editions. But hey, why bring the hate just because Assassin's Creed is different to how it used to be? Ubisoft wanted to be more of an open-world RPG than a sandbox. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, if you want a sandbox, just play literally anything else Ubisoft puts out. Now we're in RPG, we can enjoy the usual benefits of an RPG, that is, a stronger emphasis on story and character development. Can't we, Ubisoft? Look me in the eye, Ubisoft. I said, can't we? Not really. If anything, characters have only become less developed. In stark contrast to Ezio and whatever that dude from Ass Creed 3 eventually decided his name was, when we followed the main character basically from birth and learned exactly who they were, why they hate Templars, and how their grip strength became stronger than an obsessive Alan Titchmarsh fan holding on to the very last copy of BBC Gardener's World magazine. Now it's just, they're here, they've already got the skills, and they oppose the Templars because Templars are baddies and baddies are bad. Mustn't let any prolonged character building moments get in the way of the fucking grind. Even the apparently inescapable future bridging narrative I've officially given up attempting to follow, as it seems to be populated exclusively by characters who have had no introduction whatsoever, and yet we're just supposed to know what they're about. But let's talk innovations. You play as one of two siblings of opposing genders in ancient Sparta, which, as I've previously stated, isn't even innovative for Assassin's Creed games. So what innovation does Assassin's Creed Odyssey bring to the series? Well, there's dialogue trees now. That's the new hotness, is it? Dialogue trees. That's like bursting into the avant-garde fashion show and loudly announcing that you've just discovered that oversized t-shirts are good for sleeping in. Oh yes, and I guess it finally sank in that Ubisoft sandboxes are all just go to icon on map, because now there's an optional explorative mode, where instead of going to icon on map, you wander vaguely around the relevant area until the screen lights up going, you are near the thing, call your eagle, look around until an icon appears, then go to icon on map. Not so much removing go to icon on map as adding an extra step to it, like trying to get more exercise by keeping the TV remote on the other end of the couch. Anyway, your character is a mercenary caught up in a war between Athens and Sparta, and a big thing is made of how you can intervene in the war by weakening a territory's leadership until you can participate in a big ground battle to switch the area from blue to red or vice versa. Except at various times you fight for and against both sides, and gameplay-wise there's no difference except the colours of their t-shirts. They all get equal amounts of narcon when you're trying to complete objectives in their soldier camps, and their spears are equally pointy. So I'm a little unclear on why we should care about influencing the war. Why do you need a reason, yards? Overthrowing a nation always looks good on the old resume. Oh yes, and the ship is back. In Origins, the ship combat was a carnival sideshow, but now it's your main mode of transportation between islands like it was in Black Flag. Thing is, in Black Flag, the ship was the centre of your pirate universe, and everything revolved around it. And now it's just sort of there. Someone conveniently hands you it the instant you need one, and between prolonged grinding on big islands and fast travelling, huge swathes of the game can go by without you needing the ship at all. It's another thing that's there, like the stuff with the war. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a game full of things that are there. Quote that for the fucking blurb. There, but not really connecting, like my LinkedIn account. Some of the things that are there, one suspects, because they are things that other popular games have done, usually with a hell of a lot more depth and mileage. You can recruit knocked out enemy soldiers, MGS5 style, and add them to your ship crew, but your ship seems to be capable of getting along perfectly well without enslaved conscripts that hate you. There's a network of named mercenaries that bears a suspicious resemblance to the Nemesis system from the Middle-earth Shadow of such and such games, except with none of their personality, and their main role appears to be to materialise while you're in the middle of grindy combat sessions in order to extend the length of the grindy combat session. Do you know how many Assassin's Creed games I've reviewed? 1, 2, 2 and a bit more, 3, Slack Flag, Unity, Syndicant, Orim Minge, and Sodyssey makes 10. And while I've given each game varying degrees of shit, I've never once failed to play through the entire story campaign, until now. In modern gaming, Assassin's Creed is a fat and awkward member of the gang who occasionally made interesting wheezing noises when we punched him in the gut, but it has finally ceased to amuse. I had been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for nearly 40 sodding hours, 40 sodding plodding hours of copy-pasted soldier camps and temples, of hammering away at one overlong health bar after another, like like a drinking bird toy trying to eat a king-size Mars bar. And I swear half the characters look the same. I swear King Leonidas and Barnabas the ship captain are the same fucking guy with his beard at different stages of development. And all I could see ahead of me was 40 more hours of the same shit, stretching unbrokenly on from anus to toilet water. You did it, Ubisoft. You beat me. The first Assassin's Creed game I couldn't finish. It can finally take its place alongside everything else I can't finish, like JRPGs, the main courses at American family restaurants, and masturbating to the one nude scene in The Shining. Everyone's gotta look excited because I'm going to be appearing at the EGLX convention in Toronto, Canada from October 26th to 28th, so book your tickets now. Hope to see you there for entertainment, gaiety, laughter, and, xenophobia.